Welcome to Land Academy. This is the Cash Flow from Land show, where we show you how to buy unwanted vacant land and sell it for more on the internet. I'm Steve Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit.
We are your hosts. With over 15,000 completed transactions, we are the experts in this niche land flipping business.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com. All right, let's get this show started.
Hey, Steve Butala here for Land Academy. Welcome to our Cash Flow from Land show. In this episode, Jill and I are going to talk about college. Should you do it or not? Do the benefits outweigh the costs? Let's see what she thinks. Hi, Jill.
Hello.
Hey, way before we do this, I think you got a question, and we talked about it right before the show about a woman from California. What did she?
Yes, we got a call. We have her number, and people call and leave us messages for us to answer on the show. And this is one that got just the other day. Janet from California asks this: should I look for properties with back taxes? What other ways do people show that they want to sell for a good price? I love this topic, and because my number one thing is don't get hung up looking for properties for back tax reasons. I mean, there's plenty of other ways to find property and that people want to sell to show that they're motivated sellers. I know, Stephen, you have a lot to say about this.
As always.
So, as always, I'm going to start walking around like that. Every time you say something, I'm going to go, as always.
So you don't have any, Jill, you're not wearing very much clothing today. As always.
As always? That's not how that goes. What the heck?
I don't know. I was trying to test the as always thing.
That's so funny. Stephen, you're not wearing shoes. As always. That's so funny.
Boy, that's a whole show. As always.
Yeah. I'll have another. As always.
Oh my gosh.
So, okay. So for me, the whole point is people get hung up on the back tax
Why is that?
thing. I don't know. And I know
the answer.
I can think of two people in particular in our field that are hung up on tax properties.
In our field, you mean like our competitors?
Yeah, something like that. Yes. I wasn't going to say that. And it's just great but that's just one way. You're missing a lot of other opportunities.
Okay. Can I give my 2 cents here?
It's your show.
As always.
As always.
Not my show.
Just kidding.
Your face is on everything. It's like the Jill and Steve show.
Do you know, it's so funny. We call it the Steve and Jill show, but you put me in front of everything. You're standing behind me. Not that I'm arguing with it. It's kind of cool.
Like when we're out talking about the show and people ask us about it, we call it the Steve and Jill show.
Right.
Or the Jill and Steve show. Maybe we should change it to that. And then.
Well, Steve and Jill seems to flow a little better for me.
Than Cash Flow from Land.
Well, yes.
Oh, Steve and Jill versus Jill and Steve.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Steve and Jill show.
It's really about cash flow from land, though.
It's true.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
All right. Answer the question, Claire.
Taxes. Are you quoting the Breakfast Club?
I am quoting the Breakfast Club.
Boy, we're dating ourselves. There's several ways to buy ridiculously inexpensive property for a very small amount of money. If you have a paper and a pencil or a super good memory, now is the time to turn all this stuff on. Here they are, and this is all of them. Number one, if people have property and they've got a ton of back taxes on it, that's a good way. So you offer them a small amount of money, you assume the taxes, and you go on your way, you clean up the taxes and do whatever else you're going to do with the property and then resell it for a lot more. It works with all types of properties. Another way is contacting people with back tax property. Another way is tax deed property. So that you buy right from a municipality. They actually have taken title to the property and they own it. And so they just want to get it back on their tax rolls. So they're more often than not, they're willing to let go for nothing. So we've got back tax property, tax deed property, and there's tax lien property, which is a topic for a whole additional situation because it's very complicated. I'm not going to get into the mechanics of it, but very briefly, the county or the municipality who the taxes are owed places a lien on the property. And so instead of buying the property like you did with the tax deed, you actually buy the lien. You literally take over the lien, so the lien is in your name. And so that person who owns the property now has to pay you instead of the county or the municipality. Well, why the hell would they do that? They would do that because it's just a lot of work. They're avoiding the work. They think that you, as a lien holder, are going to get that thing all taken care of way more efficiently than they. Jill's just falling asleep.
No, I know that. I know how it goes. It's okay.
Well, how do you think I feel?
Well, in my defense, I'm kind of
how
finding
do you
a
think
cold
I would
today.
feel that if I have to do all the talking?
What?
Do you think I want to talk about this stuff right now?
You're doing a good job. Finish it. Janet from California wants to know.
People think, it's funny because these people, now I know how my high school history teacher feels.
Oh,
no, because this is new. Most people are listening to this. It's new.
Oh.
And the look that I just got from you across the thing here is.
And it's not new
for me. It's not the new thing. What were you thinking about, really? You're deep into a daydream.
I was actually waiting for you to finish it so we can move on to the college conversation. I'm way more excited. This is a good question. I want to answer it. You're doing a good job.
So the liens are one of my personal favorites. I think buying liens is a great way to do this. It's a lot of legal stuff and there's a lot involved. We are in the process of producing a whole program on how to do it. And, cause what I hear a member saying is they've purchased other lien programs and they just don't get it. Mm-hmm. And it's not that they don't get it. It's just cause it's not presented right. Mm-hmm. All these educational programs, by the way, the vast majority, they tell you about the opportunity. Oh yeah, you can go buy a tax lien, but they never tell you how to do it. Our stuff,
right?
Jill and I shook on this long before we ever started this. You know, when people say, oh, well, what makes you different? Here's what makes us different. We show you how to do it, man. We show you in videos. We show you, we talk about it on the podcast. We don't just sit here and talk about theory, which is, you know what? That's very topical for this podcast topic because there's a lot of theory in college and not any reality.
Good segue.
You know? And that wasn't even
true. Could you imagine? This is a good one. Here's how we are, how we teach, and how we think every college course should be. You take marketing 101 and you think you're going to marketing 101 or even marketing 305 because you're a junior now. You should be learning the ins and outs of marketing.
You should be doing it.
You should be doing it. You should be testing things. You should be marketing a product. You should be analyzing the back end numbers. Nothing. How do we know? I'll tell you how we know. Because we fill in and do some teaching spots for a professor at NAU, Northern Arizona University. And it's a business.
Jill and I are substitute professors with no credentials at all. The kids love it because they know that. And they know we're in business and we talk about that and it's fun.
We share the real world stories and we talk. I can't believe we walked in and you brought up Google Analytics one time and they all looked at you cross-eyed like, what is that?
That was a graduate class. The class that we subbed for is an entrepreneur or whatever. I don't even know the title. Right. And we ran a thing on Google Analytics and none of them have heard of it.
Right. So that's tragic. That's my point. Kind of like this. So let me back up. I'll do it. So
I'm still not done answering the tax question.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Go ahead.
No, it's all right. I'll slip it in somewhere.
Okay.
Why don't you just finish it?
Yes.
All right. So there's there's back tax people. There's tax deeds. There's tax liens. There's purchasing mortgage notes. That's number 4. And the 5th way, which is our way, is you do it all. And you do it one way with one data set. You get it all in a system and you get the people to call you back. Because all those first 4 ways, you got to go out and look for the property. Our way, you wait for it to come back to you. Very leverageable. Buying a mortgage note, very briefly. Again, this is a topic for volumes of books and it's like tax liens. You either understand it or you don't. So if there's a house that has a mortgage on it and the mortgage is defaulted on, and let's say the mortgage value is half of the house. So the house is worth $100,000. It's got a $50,000 mortgage on it. And the person who is paying on the mortgage stops paying for whatever reason. Usually it's because they die. And the bank has just lists and lists and lists of these properties, and they mechanically deal with them. They feed institutions certain properties. So long story short, once it gets all done with the institutions and is passed up and whatever, at the end of the line, they give it to individuals like us. So you can buy a mortgage sometimes for 20% of its value. And you could purchase for 20 grand, you can purchase a $100,000 house. And then you assume, it's over. You own the mortgage. You're like the bank. So they have to pay you. And everybody who does this very successfully. And it's an incredibly valuable way to purchase real estate.
Cool.
And number 5, which is us, send mailers out.
You said number 5 already.
That was number 4. Notes are number 4. Number 5 is our way.
Which is do all of the above.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to be done?
No, you did already say number 5, and you repeated number 5.
I didn't describe how to do it.
We just said number 5, do them all.
So they don't need to know how to do it, just that's what to do.
Number 9.
That's exactly what we're arguing about. That's exactly what we're saying. Don't do that. Don't just say this is it and not tell them how to do it.
Okay. You know what? I took some cold medicine a little while ago, and I'm a little jittery or something right now. Maybe that's it too.
Did you take the nighttime kind?
No, I just took a Sudafed. That's all that I had. I had some good stuff, so it's okay. Okay, so should I look for properties with back taxes was really the question, and don't get hung up on properties with back taxes.
It's a terrible place to start.
If you're just going to use that as your only business model, you're missing. Hey, if you're going to use that, hey, thank you. I'll gather up everybody else that you missed.
That's it.
That's fine.
Yeah. So let's say there's the 4 types of properties in a database that are, in a given county. And if you just send a mailer out or contact one of them, then you're missing 75% of the other, or some number, very large percentage.
Exactly.
If you send the mail out, like we say, it's systematically, not all at once, but systematically, you reach every single person that's a logical candidate in the pricing. And trust me, you're going to kill it.
Yep. Okay. Can we get to the college thing? What do you think about the go to college or not? That's the topic, the real topic.
I think to go to college and get a 4-year degree, the way that, isn't it strange that hasn't changed since like 1810?
Right.
I think that's very antiquated and silly, especially if you do it in liberal arts.
Oh, gosh, yes.
If you get a 4-year degree in engineering, that's a different story. I do have, my nephew just graduated from high school. I'm going to use him as a perfect example. He graduated with a welding certificate. He went to high school, did and does very well academically. But his parents, my little sister, made sure that he had all his bases covered. So he went to a trade school. This is his senior year in college. Went to a trade school for welding. Went for mechanical engineering in college. He started college. They allowed him to do this. And he also not only started college, but had college credits in high school toward a degree. So he was almost a sophomore by the time he graduated from school. So yes, do I think you should go to college? I think you should go to some form of education institution. Yes, I do. I think a 4-year degree for almost everybody, me included, in liberal arts is silly. I'm going to get a lot of flack for that.
No, I'm just waiting. I'm just saying. I wrote down 3 notes. I wrote down there's trade schools, there's traditional schools, and then there's us. And I don't mean us. I mean, maybe you and I are examples for different reasons. Mm-hmm. So, my other note when I sat down and took notes of this, and I always put in my little notes was listen to your parents. Nobody knows you better than you do. So I know.
Listen to your parents?
Yeah.
Oh,
pardon me, you don't like that one?
No, it's a good thing I didn't listen to my parents.
Your parents wanted you to go to 4-year school. There was no.
Yeah, and I'm saying I'm not sure that's the best idea.
Well, cross that off.
How's that cold medicine going?
I just cross it off my notes. Well,
your parents told you not to go to college at all.
Well, they did. They did want me to go to college, but they just didn't want to spend a whole lot of money on me going to college, especially because you know what? My parents are My parents are probably right because I didn't have any direction back then. And they didn't see the point back then in spending a whole lot of money sending me cross country to whatever school, and if I really didn't have a real clear direction of what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. For example, what if I was, One of the things when I was a kid, I liked to draw with rulers and stuff, and I used to think about being an architect. Now, if that followed me all the way through my whole life, that changed later on, but if that followed me through my whole thing and I was out being an apprentice architect for somebody as a sophomore in high school, yeah, we would have, I'm sure everybody would have agreed and spend the big money to send me to the top architectural school. So, cause that was clearly my path and that made sense. But how do I say this? So that makes sense. Like you said, if you have a clear thing, I'm going to be a lawyer. I know I'm a lawyer. There's a family business, whatever. It's in my blood. Doctor. Or I'm going to be a doctor. Gosh, I just love it. I've always, there's some things.
I think you actually go to school in the way that it's set up for those types of careers. The answer is heck yes. Well, you have to go to get licensed and everything else. You can't take the bar exam as an attorney unless you go to law school. Right.
And I hope you have a calling for it. It makes it easier if you have a calling for it.
It's just what I was going to say. There's so many people I knew back then in that period of my life. Not so much now, but it's like they're trying to do something that somebody told them they should do. It's a mess.
Doesn't work.
Yeah. I mean, I went to one term of law school and that was a mess. I'm just not set up for that. I'm all numbers driven. So yeah, I mean, I think you have to listen to yourself more than anything. Know yourself and make sure you have a fallback. I know I probably sound like somebody's father right now. Make sure you have some type of rational fallback. And I just don't think, unless you're a fantastic artist or something, getting a fine arts degree or a liberal arts degree is a huge, huge mistake.
I think it's okay if you want to be a teacher or something. That makes sense for that. It's a well-rounded, but even then I might even do something more special
to be a teacher.
But you have to have a degree. You have to have a degree, 4-year degree. And then if you don't do a teaching thing, here in Arizona, if you don't do a teaching thing, you have to get some extra teaching credentials to be a teacher.
You don't have to have a master's degree?
Well, my best pal does, but her undergrad was business.
Okay.
So she could start teaching she started teaching while she was getting her MAED. Now she has it, so it's all good to go. I don't think you know, because you know why? Because teachers don't have to have a master's because they get paid more if you have a master's, that's for sure. So.
Or like if you want to go be an RN, that's
a different pay scale.
Then heck yes, that's awesome.
Well, let's talk about a couple other options. What if you have no direction? You're really not sure. Would I say just spin your wheels and live at home? No. Would I say maybe do some community college while you figure things out? Yeah.
Yes,
I might do
that.
Get it going and not spend a lot of money and figure some stuff out.
Scottsdale Community College, I'm just using it as an example. You can go to film school and graduate from film school for $5,500.
I don't know about that.
You can.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not asking.
Okay. All
I
right.
looked into it.
Okay. It must be an associate's, a film degree.
Yeah,
okay, got it. Oh, it's an associate's. Okay, got it. That was a 4-year degree. I'm like, what?
These 4-year degrees are, they're packed up with liberal art. I mean, English 101 stuff.
Right.
You only go to 2 years of real school.
Right. Oh, here's another thing I don't think is crazy. Trade schools. You can almost call it a trade school at that point, Stephen, because you're not walking with a 4-year accounting background. Your undergrad is accounting and my major is film and my minor is something. Yeah.
So what's a good example? Like a mechanic?
Yeah. Auto mechanic, diesel mechanic, motorcycle mechanic, HVAC. There's lots of schools out there. For some people, it's a good thing.
Great things.
Right.
We have members that are involved in all of that.
Well, what's interesting is we have some members that are so brainy. I mean, like doctors, and they look at this and they analyze it a different way, I guess. And then we have some members that I know they may or may not have graduated high school. I don't know, but they're still smart and they still can do this and they can make a killing. Maybe that's one good thing that's good about our field.
I talked to a kid recently. He said, I don't think I'm smart enough to do this program.
What?
Isn't that awful?
No, you just...
But you had the same reaction I did. It's really just... You
have to have your head on straight.
Well, it's A to B to C to D, and it's more of an attitude than anything else. I'm not trying to hawk the program. That's not what this show's about.
No. Like with anything, you've got to be able to see a problem, solve a problem, move on, and not give up.
That's where the talent is. You nailed it. That is, if I had to say what makes somebody successful at this or really anything else, You just don't give up. You have that, Jill.
Thank you.
You have it. And there's a lot of deals that you do, real estate deals, because I guess that's really what we're here for.
Exactly.
It doesn't sound like it.
They don't faze me. I've never had one.
I would have stopped.
Oh yeah. No, because there's always a way out. Even if I have to, there's always a way to solve the problems. It's just, are you willing to do the work?
Yeah.
And that's how I see it.
So, and what I mean by that, what she's so good at is, there's a lot of extra paperwork to get some certain, this is like 5% of the time. 95% of the deals that we do are just, they sail right through. Mm-hmm. But that 5%, I'm usually very willing to walk away from because I know there's another deal around the corner. You get them done. Mm-hmm. And those are the kinds of properties, by the way, that back tax, like with this question here about back taxes, there's a lot of back taxes on properties for a reason.
Oh,
and so while you get,
good point.
While you get a huge response, let's say there's 1,000 back tax properties in a county and you only mail those back, you send letters to those 1,000, you're going to get a high response back.
It's true.
25, maybe 35, 45% will call you back and say, absolutely, I have no intention of paying these taxes. Send me some money. You can take over my problem. So now what you got yourself into is a great response, which everybody loves up front, until you get into analyzing the deals and finding out what's wrong.
Bingo.
And then now you've got yourself a second career.
Exactly.
If you would have sent everybody a letter, and then mixed in with some of those calls are going to be people who say, you know, my husband and I were just talking about this at dinner last night, and we're getting up in years, and we want to clean up our estate. So yes, you know, I do really want to sell my property to you, and I want to do it fast. I don't want to do it through a realtor. Please, let's just get this thing done. That's the deal you're looking for, in my opinion.
Well, no, I like what you said too about the second career, because I've had members that said, oh my gosh, we got all excited this property and the guy wants to sell it to us. And then we found out that the back taxes owed are worth more than what the property is worth. I'm like, that happens.
Or that same guy might have a rogue brother-in-law down in Mexico that they can't find, but he needs to sign the deal to get the deed done.
That can happen.
So everybody stop paying taxes. That kind of stuff.
Could be.
So no, don't just focus on. I think the most successful people I've seen with that really focus on back tax property, that's not their first year or two in the business. They've been around for a while. They get it. They know how to look at it. They know they have a system to check for other liens that may exist. There's some other stuff that goes on.
We should make a whole. I'm just looking at this. There's a lot of people that are gonna. We should make this a whole nother podcast and talk about that a little bit more, because I think that's good information everybody's going to want to know at some point.
Do. I was thinking like a simple, 5-part series. Each is 15 minutes only. And you talk about tax deeds, tax liens.
That's a great idea.
You know,
like a 5-day, this week it's covering this. That's a great idea.
Yeah, just like that.
Okay, cool.
Actually, I wrote part of it already.
So what's your end goal? What's your end notes on to go to college or not?
It depends on the person.
Me too.
For most people, no. If grades come easy to you, and the thought of becoming a medical doctor is like, oh yeah, I could do that. I can sail through that stuff. I have a photographic memory. Then absolutely, you need to, don't be lazy. Get in there and get into college.
Love it.
If you struggled all the way through high school, no, I think you're wasting your time and money.
Got it.
What's your take?
I'm kind of on the same page. I also still think though that you don't have to be that smart to do it. You just have to have the drive. So, you know, if you have your heart set, and you have your heart set on something, you want to be a pilot, you want to be whatever, you want to do that, then do it. Don't mess around. Don't think about it and power through. Cause there's, sometimes I think that ambition can outweigh smarts. Does that make sense? Okay. So if you have the ambition and the drive, you'll learn to study. You don't have to have a photographic memory. You'll get through it.
I'm talking about being a medical doctor.
Oh.
I'm not. That's all I mean.
Oh, I'm just talking about big picture college.
If you reasonably, that photographic memory thing was for going to medical school.
Okay.
Or getting a PhD in like trigonometry.
Okay, all right. Or you want to be a psychologist? There's a good one.
If you want to be a psychologist, you can. If you were a C student in high school, you can go be a psychologist. It's incredible. Oh my God, I'm gonna get all kinds of calls now.
Yeah, you are. Here it goes.
I'm gonna cut that out.
All right. I hope we successfully left you with more questions than when you turned on the show. So I'm just kidding.
Join us in another episode where Jill and I discuss your all-important success in land investment and in life.
Did that show make any sense at all?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a topic that needed to get discussed. I wish somebody that I believed in or had something useful to say would have sat me all down and said that a long time ago.
Okay. I have a hard time saying some of this stuff. So.
College really matters, in my opinion, and where you go to college specifically. If you want to get a job at a huge corporation right out of school, they're dying. They have a formula that they're not shy about broadcasting all over the planet about who they hire.
Yeah, I guess
like Procter & Gamble or General Motors or Microsoft or any of those. They hire geniuses, that went to really high-end schools that got scholarships that have written dissertations. So if that's the kind of person that you are, you're probably not listening to this anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The people who are probably listening to this are saying, this normal track really doesn't excite me. I want to do something entrepreneurial. And I'm not exactly, you don't learn anything entrepreneurial in school. I don't think.
No, you don't.
You just get basic skills like accounting's a good one or engineering.
You're right. And the big picture is, so you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to have your own business, whatever it is. Do I need a college degree hanging on my wall for my own business? No. Am I not going to hire myself? No.
I almost think it's better that you don't have a 4-year liberal arts degree. That's what I think.
Right.
I don't think it helps anything.
Oh,
unless you want to be, like you said, get a master's degree, go to law school possibly or whatever. But there's very few reasons to do that. And I see the vast majority of people I know who are unhappy with how it went got liberal arts degrees. And then they thought they'd get out and send their resume to 14 places and get a great job. No, that's just not the way the world is.
Right. Great. You have a degree. And you know what? I don't know if they even do it anymore, but it used to be some companies that would be a weeding out way. You had to have a degree to get to this point in the process, but all it was checking a box.
I think it's
now they
like
still
that.
Want to know. Do they? Okay. Now they still want to know. Great. Well, what do you know? Who cares? You got to this round. Now you got past that part. I still have 6 people that are way ahead of you because they know this kind of business or they have that training. And
right.
So, cool.
Well, it's time. Well, I think instead of going to buy property, instead of let's go buy property, I think you should go to bed, man. I don't think you feel that well.
I don't. Let's get Jill down for a rest.
Let's get Jill down for a rest.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com.
If you want to get involved or you need more information about our profitable, niche real estate operation, call 480-467-0359. You just might get Jill at the other end of the line.
Landacademy.com. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.